And good Wednesday afternoon, everyone. I'm CBS 6 meteorologist Mike Stone. It's just about 1 o'clock. I want to give you an update for our social media fans. This is the latest on the winter storm. You can see this hodgepodge of precipitation. That's snow, that is sleet, that is freezing rain, and that is all rain. And all this is moving northward. The storm is still located in the Gulf of Mexico, and this is the projected storm track. I mentioned at noon you have to kind of think of this storm as something traveling in the center lane of a highway. It may drift into the left lane or the right lane over the next 24 hours, and that subtle shift of even 50, 100 miles will be the difference on how much snow and mix and rain we get. So that's something we're going to be watching closely. So while this forecast is a good one, make sure you stay tuned for updates not only tonight but overnight and during the day tomorrow, because a subtle shift in this may have to tweak a couple numbers. I think the lower end of a lot of the numbers that we're talking about are in good shape. So snow will move northward. It'll turn heavy this evening into the overnight. A good chunk of our accumulation, especially in the metro, may come down into a 4-6 hour period. The heavy snow will be west of I-95, the lightest across far southeastern Virginia. And the big wild card in this is going to be how long of a period we see sleet and freezing rain in the metro. We think there's going to be enough for maybe a heavy glaze of ice, maybe even a 1/4 inch of ice on top of a snowpack, which is going to be wet snow. So while the winds pick up tonight, the snow is probably going to be wet enough that it's not going to blow around. But with some heavier snow on trees and power lines and putting ice on top of that, we could really have a problem with power outages. Most of the viewing areas in a winter storm warning through tomorrow are far southeastern counties, Middle Peninsula down through Williamsburg, a winter weather advisory because we'll have less snow there. Here's our future weather taking us into the afternoon. Front little edge of this may not reach the ground right away, but where you see some of these darker blues, so moving up mid to late afternoon into the evening rush hour. And then by the time we get to 8 o'clock, most areas should be seeing some pretty steady to heavy snow. A little bit of ice across southeastern Virginia, even all rain by the coast. And these lines will actually shift a little bit westward tonight into early tomorrow. So there's that period of ice possible in the metro area and the potential for just plain rain across eastern Virginia. The storm will move across just to our east, and then as it leaves tomorrow, it'll tug in some colder air. So we could see a couple hours of snow or sleet once the system turns a little bit colder. Now, in terms of what we're expecting, it's going to be all snow the western part of the state near I-81. There will be, after the snow falls, ice, sleet, freezing rain likely, with the potential turning over to all rain. Least amount of snow will be in southeastern Virginia, and the big wild card here is where the western edge of this line goes west of I-95. So we may get some sleet and freezing rain in this area, but this is more likely enough for maybe a 1/10 to a 1/4 of an inch of ice. So here are the snowfall accumulations. They'll be least to the southeast, most to the west, and the difference between the 1 to 4 and 4 to 8 line will go right through Center Cross and Quinton down to just near the Tri-Cities. We think the lower number of this is a pretty good bet. The upper end is not going to be widespread, but there will be some sections, especially the western part of this band, that get close to 8 inches of snow if we don't see too much mix. Western Hanover County back through Goochland into eastern Louisa, a good bet for getting 8 inches of snow if we don't see much mix, probably some isolated 12-inch amounts. And then western Louisa County back through Fluvanna and Buckingham counties, those will have the potential for over a foot of snow. I want to show you a couple of the computer models that we look at. I have it on that screen right there. And just to give you an idea of this kind of problem with the storm, the low pressure will be here, but as we take a look at 3 different computer models, they each have a little different location of where the storm is going to go. And again, the difference, 25, 50 miles, is going to make a huge difference as to how much snow, sleet, and freezing rain, and even plain rain that we get. So we'll continue to keep you updated. We're going to have lots of updates on CBS 6 this afternoon. We'll simulcast those on the web with our live stream, and we'll have team coverage all over the place at 5, 6, 7, and 11 o'clock tonight. Have a good day.